You're watching episode 5 of the LGBTQ review, where every week we watch a LGBTQ related film and talk about it. This week it's The Humbling.
The world is a stage, and all men and women merely players. How about that? Any better?
Who is it?
It's your agent! You gotta do something. You have no money.
Why don't you get me a deal writing my memoirs? Isn't that what washed-up actors do? I'm having trouble separating a scene from a play with real life.
Here's this week's 60-second recap.
There's this actor, he's called Simon. He is in his 60s and one day in a show he tries to commit suicide by falling off the stage, and then he goes to rehab and he has loads of counselling and he meets this woman who wants him to kill her husband because he's abusing their daughter, and he's like, no, I'm an actor, and she's like, but you held a gun that one time in that one film. And he goes home and his friend's daughter comes and gives him some toiletries and wine. He's like, you were 10 last time I saw you, and she's like, I'm a lesbian now, and then they get together because that's what happens in films. And then he's just like more and more unreliable as a narrator and a character. He like tries to shoot himself, but that was before he met her. And then he thinks that she wants a baby. That's it. It's the end. He dies. Does he die? I don't know.
Another lesbian falling in love with a straight man.
Well, she's my friend's daughter,
She's had these fantasies about you. She glorified you.
She thinks I'm starstruck.
and she's a lesbian, a flirtatious lesbian.
That's a bit annoying, isn't it? Because, like, it happens in life. I get it. But do we? I just feel like maybe we could stop making films about it for, say, 30 years? 30 years.
What, just like...
And then, so just before we get rid of male gaze completely, because that was like 40 years, wasn't it, I said, we start reintroducing films where maybe a lesbian might fall in love with a man, occasionally. Not she falls in love with a man occasionally, but there's occasionally a film in which she falls in love with a man. Because people do. I just think it's like a tiny bit harmful. No, you can't have a tiny bit harmful, can you? It's a bit harmful right now.
It's harmful
to
right
continue making films like that. It's ridiculous.
The problem is there aren't that many mainstream lesbian films, so why crowd it with lesbian films where lesbian characters fall in love with straight men and like over proportionalise that?
I mean, and I get it. He's Robert De Niro, but
No, he's not. He's Al Pacino.
oh, that's because my next point was going to be, but he's not Robert De Niro. It's even more annoying when you do, like, the tiniest bit of research, because I don't have enough time, into the people that made the film. And then it is so annoying that they chose to make this film. I know it was a novel before, but come on.
Yeah, well, Al Pacino really wanted it made, didn't he? He like went to the director and was like, I want this. I think, playing devil's advocate, that it could be a satire, because it being all from this powerful white man's point of view, and the fact that he's like losing his mind, and he doesn't know what's real or what's not real. It's all, everything that seems to happen to him is what he would want to happen. And in that way, it's just possibly commentating on what actually happens in both film and culture in general, that these powerful white men want this to happen. They think they can like conquer lesbianism with their powerful white ways.
If that's true, then they just missed it completely.
One of the things I think might back that up is the fact that Greta Gerwig's in this film, because I don't understand why
She's
she
awful.
would be in this.
In this film. Her acting was awful. It was awful. And I am a huge fan.
She was like I didn't think she was particularly great, but she was like a standout.
No.
Really?
I completely disagree. It wasn't good. All of her lines were like, I'm speaking lines. They was rubbish. It was really, really rubbish.
I did watch an interview with her, and she did say she was like cast on the Monday, and then on Wednesday she was shooting. So
The director, he wrote Tootsie, which didn't miss as a film. So, and also the writer of the screenplay co-wrote The Graduate. what? What's happened to you?
Well,
That, like, this is the progress you've made?
Well, that's why I think it could be a satire. Because these are like not stupid people and they understand life and film industry. So I don't understand why they would decide to do this. Or maybe they just have and they don't really
I honestly think you're giving it, like...
too much credit.
It's the book. So they didn't go, we're going to make a film of this novel that isn't satire, and we'll sort of satirise it because of that one trope that one time. They just made the novel into a book. They just made that novel into a book, James.
And then the book was a novel and then a film.
Yep. Books, novels, screenplays, people typing things.
He has a mullet in this, which I didn't appreciate or enjoy.
No, I didn't like his hair. It's described as a erotic comedy.
Yeah, I read that.
Would we say it was erotic? Why can you have people having sex in a film and it's just a film, like a drama or a comedy or whatever, but if they're masturbating, it's erotic?
Yeah, and it wasn't particularly like a erotic scene.
It just seems so muddled as a thing, and came out the same year as Birdman, so that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I did think that, especially when he was wearing that mask. Birdman has done this a lot better. I didn't care for Al Pacino in this at all. I don't think I like his acting.
Did you believe that moan I just did?
I did.
I didn't. Can I try that again?
He didn't look a lot like Al Pacino either, which was good, I think.
Yeah.
It was easy to forget that it was him.
Maybe
Maybe that was a choice he made.
I don't think he... this is harsh, but I don't think he's that great at comedy.
What other comedy has he been in?
He's been in
I don't
Jack
think
and
I've seen
Jill,
any.
which was Adam Sandler.
I wouldn't have watched that.
No.
It would have been better if all of his lines were lines from films and plays.
Well, completely.
You wouldn't have been able to tell for a really long time, so it would have been like a nicer unravelling than that. Like, we get it, shaky cam, he's unstable.
The whole film just feels slightly odd. And you're like, this should be working more than it is, or this should be more offensive than it actually is. And it's just this weird thing in the middle where nothing particularly is good.
Oh, the mum, Diane West. Classic mum casting. Also the mum in Edward Scissorhands and The Birdcage.
I was reading that the book starts with the line, he had lost his magic, and then the whole thing comes from that. Like the writer said, oh, it all came from that. Makes far more sense.
Yeah.
It felt like a really, really long short film. Oh, we should probably talk about the post-op transsexual character. Transsexual? Transgender, sorry. He is definitely post-op though, because I was kind of like phasing out of that bit, just because it was about halfway through and I was like, this is not going anywhere. But Greta Gerwig's character's ex-lover turns up, and
Well, actually, both of her ex-lovers turn up,
yeah,
which is
sure.
ridiculous.
And her parents.
The lesbian is a weird stalker who keeps doing, like, cold calling the house and just showing up in the garden, and then the transgender Prince, he's called Prince now, it also just shows up in the garden.
Yeah. Well, that was my point. Like he says, oh, all these lunatics are just showing up at my house all the time, and he's only referring to people who aren't like cisgendered. But then the Prince character also says, oh, I'm a man now, and I see you're getting with other men, so why don't we like hook up? Which is just ridiculous and insulting on every level, like most of the film.
Old lady dildo bit was okay.
Yeah, I thought you might like that scene.
Educational, that scene as well.
Oh, what about boiling and desanitizing?
No.
Sanitizing.
Yep.
No, desanitizing.
Sanitising.
Re-sanitizing, if anything.
It's just sanitising. A bit I did like, which was instantly undermined by instantly telling us that it is in his head, was when the mother goes to see him. That was quite good. Apart from when she stabs him, that was ridiculous. But I mean, it's imagined, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I quite like that conversation. Is it an LGBTQ film at all? Like, they're plot devices, and they're not even plot devices in like a normal plot device sense. They're just like, we can say this for a while.
It's a LGBTQ issue.
What, that it was made? Yeah, I agree.
Like the representation of lesbians on screen, the fact that there are so many lesbians falling in love with men films.
No, that's an issue with cinema. It's not your issue how
No,
you're
it's like a concerning
representing.
issue. But I think it does count. And that's the humbling.
Rating?
I'll give it 2 Al Pacino mullets out of 5. Based on the fact that I think possibly there could be some satire there.
I give it 0.75 excellent cat actors.
So that's what we thought. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We have been James and Beth, and this has been the LGBTQ review. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to get our weekly videos. To get updates on upcoming reviews, you can always follow us on Twitter at LGBTQ_review. Thank you, and see you next week.